Our constitution showed us, and that's exactly why I told you that 17th of April 2026 is a red letter day. Mark it in your diary, because our constitution showed us why India is one of the largest democracy and why India will one day be the most powerful democracy. The state that followed what the federal system wanted the country to follow, and that is controlled population, those states would have been penalized, and states which didn't would have been rewarded. This is what would have happened. Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. Yesterday, 17th April 2026, is a very important day for us. It is a very important day for us is because, something that happened in the Parliament of India, it reminded us of how robust our constitution was. It actually, for me, it was a day I saluted the architects of our constitution. I mean, the way it was designed. You see, the Delimitation Bill 2026 and the 131st Constitutional Amendment Bill was put to vote yesterday in the Parliament. Now, what happened was 278 people said yes, that is ayes, and 211 people said noes. Technically speaking, the bill should have been passed because majority said ayes. 278 people, like I told you, total strength was 489, out of which, like I said, 278 people said ayes. And only 211 people said no's. But no, that's not how the constitution is designed. And that's why I was so proud of the way that our architects thought about our constitution. Brilliant. When it comes to a constitutional amendment, according to our constitution, Article 368, a simple majority will not suffice. A simple majority of 278 versus 211 will not suffice. You have to have 2/3 majority. And till such time that you don't have 326 votes, your bill will not get passed. And that is because when we designed our democracy was not meant to be a majoritarian democracy. It was not meant to be a majoritarian governance process. India is not a majoritarian run country. So majority feels so it has to happen. Right, wrong, otherwise. It doesn't run that way. Our constitution showed us, and that's exactly why I told you that 17th of April 2026 is a red letter day. Mark it in your diary, because our constitution showed us why India is one of the largest democracy and why India will one day be the most powerful democracy. Of course, that is if democracy is allowed to flourish. That rider goes with what I say. You see, Delimitation Bill, including the 131st Constitutional Amendment Bill, was put up for vote, like I told you yesterday. And somewhere down the line, had the Delimitation Bill been passed the way it was meant to be, or it was drafted and put up, I think it would have been injustice to South of India, which of course I have done a full editorial on that. Please have a look at it. I think it would have been. That is my personal opinion. A lot of people in the government and the people who support the government, that is exactly 278 people sitting, our representatives sitting in the parliament, felt otherwise. But the fact remains that at least I felt that it would have been injustice to South of India and also to the Northeast. Because somewhere down the line, if population were to define our representation, then the states that controlled population, the states that ensured that the population explosion was kept under check, the state that spent money on education, the state that spent money on healthcare, the state that followed what the federal system wanted the country to follow, and that is controlled population, those states would have been penalized, and states which didn't would have been rewarded. This is what would have happened. Our constitution didn't allow that to happen. Another very important point is that are we using everything now for politics, for elections? Parliament used for elections, Rajya Sabha used for elections, bills being used for elections. Are we doing that? Because end of the day, I still didn't understand what was the point of linking the Women Reservation Bill with delimitation. Why? Women Reservation Bill is something that is a must. It talks about 50% of our population, women. So why was it linked to delimitation? What was the logic? Women Reservation Bill could have been seen in isolation. It should have been implemented. It should be implemented today, now. By linking it to delimitation and therefore ensuring that you stall on Women's Reservation Bill, does it sound fair? Does it sound fair? My question 2. My question 3. Why are we stuck on 2011 census? What is stopping this government from having another census? Having a census in 2026? What is stopping us? Why are we so aversive of doing census? Isn't it important for our country to know, and important for our administration, which is what you call as administrative intelligence? Isn't it important to have intelligence to know how many men, how many women, what caste, what creed, what religion, tribal, non-tribal, nomadic tribes, regular tribes? Isn't it important for us to know? Because unless and until we know our statistics, how are we going to ensure that we develop programs for these minorities, these marginalized general category? How are we going to design programs? How are we going to design policies? Or are we like that? Could be, policies also, are they based on elections and how popular they will be with elections? Is that how we are going to design policy also now? Or that is how, actually, to my mind, we are designing policies currently, to be very honest with you. If it wasn't for that, I don't think Meri Ladli Bahin or Ladki Bahin would have ever happened and, would have ever been so popular. I don't think it would have happened because I don't think it actually helps anybody. These are policies designed purely with considering votes, considering elections. Are we going to continue doing this? Because end of the day, census is not just about politics. When you say caste census or creed census or gender census, it's not about politics alone. It is also about development. Unless and until you know how many, you won't know how much. You need to know how many are there so that you know how much you need to spend on them. Isn't that fact? And what exactly are the policies that you're going to design for them? If you are playing blind, we will never be able to satisfy or cater to their needs. So that's the point number 3, my last point. And this is a point I want you to ruminate on. Let me know in the comment box below. See, most of us knew that it would be difficult for the government to push this bill through, to push this delimitation and 131st Constitution Amendment bill through. Most of us knew. Are you telling me that the government didn't know? If the government knew that this bill which they are tabling may not be through, then why did they table it? What was the strategy behind it? Was the strategy, like Mr. Kapil Sibal said, what the strategy was the strategy to collect all the MPs to come to the parliament, attend the parliament so that they don't get enough time to campaign in their respective states? Is that the reason? Especially states like West Bengal and Tamil Nadu, which are going for elections. Is that the reason? Is the reason that, you link Women's Reservation Bill with Delimitation Bill and then stall Women Reservation Bill and then go back to states like West Bengal, which BJP is fighting very, very hard, and Tamil Nadu, where I don't think BJP is making much of competition, but going back to these states and saying that, hey, you know what, your parties are anti-women bill? Is that the political strategy? So what is this typical timing of this particular bill, where you call for a special session and you put up a bill where you know that this bill won't be passed? Think about it. Think about it, because nothing in this country happens without a reason anymore. This too, I'm sure, has a reason.
प्रश्न ये था कि भारत के संविधान का और संशोधन करने वाले विधेयक पर विचार किए जाए, शुद्धि के अद्यतन मत विभाजन इस प्रकार है। हाँ 298 298, ना 230 230। प्रस्ताव संविधान के अनुच्छेद 368 के उपबंधों के अनुसार सभा की कुल सदस्य संख्या के बहुमत द्वारा तथा सभा के उपस्थित और मत देने वाले सदस्यों के कम से कम 2/3 बहुमत द्वारा पारित नहीं हुआ। अब इस संविधान संशोधन पर विधेयक पर आगे की कार्रवाई करना संभव नहीं है।
Till I see you next time, that's tomorrow at, day after tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Namaskar.